Trivia's Inspirational Radio would like to inform you that the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the following show are solely the sentiments of the participants of the show. Trivia's Inspirational Radio Network is not responsible for content. As always, thanks for watching and enjoy. Do you want to be a host? Welcome to your future on Trivia's Inspirational Radio. Trivia's Inspirational Radio can be streamed 24/7. The shows can also be viewed across its global radio station on the World Wide Web: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Apple Store, Google Play Store, and via podcast. Join the network. Like and share. Become a host. Build your audience. Customize your show experience. Share your message with the world. Your show awaits you. Trivia's Inspirational Radio is light years above the rest. So connect with Trivia at www.triviasinspirational. Baltimore and surrounding areas. Get ready for a day to remember. Saturday, May 13th, 2023, from 1 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Join us as we celebrate the Mission Meets Ministry second annual Pre-Mother's Day Fashion Show. Do you love waking up early in the morning, struggling to figure out what to do with your hair? We've all had our share of bad hair days. Are you ready for a change? Lock it and love it with Lock and Love Salon, conveniently located at 8117 Liberty Road, Windsor Mills, Maryland. Start your lock journey today. Lock and Love's professional services and artistic designs will keep you blazing in the hottest trends while maintaining and protecting your hair. Honey, Lock and Love is an experience. Once you try Lock and Love Salon, you won't try anyone else. Lock and Love offers starter and maintenance locks, fox locks, detox, shampooing and conditioning, lock treatment, lock extension, coloring, and much more. Sorry, but Lock and Love doesn't accept walk-ins. What are you waiting for? Call 410-970-3791 to set up your appointment today. Lock and Love is on Facebook, so remember to like, follow, and share. This is a story about a little girl who learned to say yes to herself unapologetically. The truth heals. The She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically platform is here to motivate, encourage, and empower you. The little girl had dreams of becoming a playwright. Motivational speaker. And best-selling author. When the little girl finally realized she had slept on herself and her God-given abilities, she grew up and became all of these things. Now she's helping others to say yes to themselves. And she wants to inspire you to say yes to yourself too. A Yes to Herself platform and Trivia's Inspirational Radio across all available social media platforms. The truth lyrics and vocals were performed by Tyler Brown. Hey, what's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, Chanelle Coleman Wesley, and this is She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically,
I'm so excited to be here on today. No, we don't have a guest on today, but we're going to be talking about your girl and her latest book entitled She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically, the Empowerment Guide for Women. Again, this show is brought to you guys today by Trivia's Inspirational Radio Network. So if you guys are looking to be able to start your own show journey, make sure that you reach out to my girl at www.triviasinspirationalradio.com so that you can connect with her so that you too can have an amazing show and be on her phenomenal platform. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out at www.triviasinspirationalradio.com. Okay, so today, guys, guess what we're talking about? We're going to be talking about this book right here. That's right. This book right here, entitled She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically, the Empowerment Guide for Women. I'm just really so excited about her. I'm so excited about her because she just really kind of symbolizes to me where I'm coming in my journey. I had, started off with some low self-esteem, uh, times when I really didn't value myself, times when I really tried to shrink myself and put myself into spaces and places that really kept me confined and kept me living inside of a box. And this book represents so much because it just really represents me coming full circle now in a space where I recognize my worth and I own it. I'm walking in my godly divine purpose. And I'm really unapologetic about it. I'm intentional about taking care of me and making sure that my needs and the things that I need are met as well. I think it's great. Hey, Jackie. I think it's great to be able to make sure that you're cared for other people and that you're supportive to others, but also making sure that what's in your cup stays in your cup and you give to everybody else is the overflow. At first, I thought it was my job to just continue to serve from an empty cup. And I mean, if you're a woman out there, I think we can all relate because we're wives, we're mothers, we're aunts, we're sisters, we're daughters, and we're trying to serve and show up for all the people and do all the things and play the MVP to all the people, all the positions on the field. But guess what? If you aren't treating the MVP on your team, like she's $1,000,000, then guess what? Eventually, sis is going to burn out at some point and sometime. So we just have to become intentional about saying yes to ourselves. And that's what birthed this amazing book right here. She said yes to herself. In this book, I provide 21 actionable steps that take you from waiting on it to walking in it. Walking in what? In your divinely designed purpose. Why? Because God has a purpose and a plan for you and for your life. And so I'm going to be reading a couple of things, and I'm going to be sharing some amazing surprises that I have as well. Last week, my girl Ocean, I'm sending out her surprise gift this week. I'm not going to say yet what it is. But I guess before I even get in to start doing any readings, I want to show some of my amazing swag. And I got to shout out my sister and my girl. It's like she's like my girlfriend from way back. We go back like bubblegum in the dish. How many pieces do you wish? Or like slide, slippery slide. Your mama ain't got no hair. Slide your daddy look like Frankenstein. Say one. Like we go back like that, like when you was playing double dutch on, on the back on the school park, when you guys were doing duck, duck, goose. I mean, this is my girl from, like I said, our families are linked, everything. And I'm going to start with her first. Her name is Nicole Thurman. If you are on Facebook, you can check her out as Angelique Essentials. So my girl does swag items. She also does special and self-care things as well. You guys should make sure that you guys check her out. She does the amazing bath bombs. I'm going to tell you right now, it's the bath for me. Sis will literally get lost in the bath, but don't let me have some bath bombs. Honey is finna stay in there by hours. I'm gonna have the bathroom on lock. Family knocking on the door like, hey, it's time for you to come out now. I'm like, no, I'm just trapped up in here at this moment. The bath bombs are amazing. She does salts. She does body butter, which is addictive. She has this lemon scent that got my sister Selena like hooked on it. She called it crack. Because like once you smell it and once you try it, it's gonna make your skin feel good. But the smell is everything. It's lemon. So she did me some amazing things. Let me just show y'all what this is. Can y'all see this? She said yes to herself unapologetically, period. Boom. Put that explanation point on that. Period. So she gave me some specialty swag items. She said yes to herself. Unapologetically, period. So that was my t-shirt. She also did this amazing shirt for me. Can y'all see? Ain't that fabulous? She said yes to herself unapologetically, period, sis. And so I'm loving it. And I had to show that. Let me show another one of the bags that she did for me as well. I don't know about you, but if you have a business or a book or a brand, you definitely need merch. You want to make sure that you check out my girl, Nicole Thurman. Again, she's on Angelique's Essentials. But this is another bag she did for me. And she said yes. So it's in the red pop. That yellow was out there. That yellow was fine. But this red, you know, she'll pop too. But that yellow, honey, I'm telling you, that yellow is yellowing. And then she did my bags that look like this too. Yep, she said yes to herself unapologetically. Yes. Thank you, Nicole. Like I said, this is my girl from way back when. You guys want to connect with her so that she does all kinds of things. So make sure you guys check her out. She does specialty items. She'll help you do some things for your business and your brand. I wanted bags and a t-shirt, so that's what she gave me. And so I want to thank her for being so amazing. Thank you, Nicole. So again, if you guys want to check out some quality swag for your business or brand, make sure that you hit my girl up because she's phenomenal. All right. And I guess that brings me to my sister. I'll save Desiree because she sent me some stuff, but I'll save her for next time. I'm going to talk about what my sister did for me. Look at this right here. Oh, can y'all see that? She said yes. My gift boxes. So if you're one of my girls, you know who you are. I owe you a gift box. These are not it. These are the bigger ones for my like book sets. But when she does my little smaller boxes, I'm gonna be sending out y'all book boxes and see. I guess y'all get a kind of a sneak peek on what that looks like today. And my sister did me some quality t-shirts as well. Now, if you know my sister, then you know me, because like that's my heart, that's my soul, that's my everything. My sister, Selena BG. Make sure that you check her out. That's what her name is on Facebook, Selena BG. My girl does some amazing things, and so let me show you a couple of designs that she did for me. She said yes in purple. Of course, it's gonna be in purple because my sister loves purple. She loves purple. Y'all see that? She said yes to herself unapologetically. And then she did one for me in pink. This thing pops so much, I'm telling you. And I love this gold writing on here. It's just like the gold for me, babe. Gold for me. She said yes to herself unapologetically. Because you're supposed to be unapologetic in your walk, right? Be unapologetic about being you. But my favorite that my sister did. Hey, boo. The one that my sister did for me that's my favorite is this one right here, honey. It smacks. Oh, boom. It's my sister and my niece. It's my Get Up t-shirt. Get up. So let me tell you what it says. G, grow through what you go through. E, elevation requires a burnt offering. T, talk to yourself, not as you are at this moment, but you, who you were created to be. You energetically walk in the God's purpose for your life. P, preserve. Sorry, it's dripped right there. Perseverance will require you to push past your pain to access your purpose. Ain't that hot? Yes, it is. So I'm loving my t-shirts. I'm gonna tell you right now, my sister goes hard for me. I'm telling you right now, this woman is amazing. Not only is she a phenomenal mom, sister, daughter, wife, everything, that any title that she possibly holds, but this woman is a phenomenal businesswoman at that. Anything that you're needing branded, I want you to make sure that you go and check out my sister, Selena BG, over on Facebook Messenger, and be like, hey, your sister told me to come over here and check you out. So just go ahead and then check her out. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all do that. So my girl Nicole Thurman over at Angelique's Essentials. and my sister, Selena BG. So make sure y'all check them out. I just had to show them items because guess what? They are amazing. They are amazing. So yes, make sure you guys check them out. They're amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, so now let's get to this book right here. She said yes to herself unapologetically. Um, and where did the whole thought process come from that she said yes to herself unapologetically platform, like the book, the summit, the anthology that's coming? It came when I was, after I wrote my first book, Naked and Not Ashamed, the transformational devotional experience. I was going to YouTube University because that's where I go when I'm trying to learn something that I need to have a new tool or trick in my bag. So I went to YouTube University and I was asking, like, okay, well, how do I sell more of my current book? And they were like, well, nothing sells your book like your next book. I'm like, what? So you mean to tell me in order to sell the current book that I have to write another book? They was like, pretty much, yes, ma'am, that's what you got to do. So I was thinking, like, okay, so if I'm going to write another book, and then I also heard that, do a series. Why? Because you can get that content out to people and kind of build relationships, do all these amazing things and show people what it is that you have to offer them. So I'm like, well, what content would I like to talk about? And what do I feel like I could provide that would be an impact? Something that would be able to be a game changer for women, something that's going to help them in their journeys as they're traveling along life's way. And so I'm thinking, okay, and I start thinking about myself and where I am at this moment, being 46, honey, and loving it. All right. I'm like, you know what? In this moment, I'm at a time and a space where I'm just really beginning to, and just really being comfortable in saying yes to me, saying yes to myself. And there was a time that I didn't say yes to myself. I was like, no, I put myself on a back burner, my ideas, my dreams, my ambitions, my goals. I was too busy trying to show up and serve for everybody else. And so I finally hit a point where I decided that, hey, when I started having my life changing cards that were being dealt to me, like number one, my health diagnoses and all these things that were happening, I'm thinking, okay, my time is winding up. I'm going to leave here at some point, maybe prematurely, a little bit earlier than what I would have wanted to. So, if I'm going to play this in a game called life, what am I going to leave out on the court? Because, when you watch basketball players, you see them, they out on the court, they dribbling, they doing all their little stuff, they doing their fake shoots, they pulling back, doing a three, they doing all the things, they dunking, right? Ain't nothing like Jordan, we come up with, boom, all the things. And they play hard. Like they leave it all out on the field. Like, they playing it hard from start to finish. And so I'm thinking, okay, so how do I play my position hard? How do I leave it all out on the field in the game of life? And then I learned that I needed to say yes to me, that I had to begin saying yes to myself. And so when I made that transition, when I made that shift, there was a time when I was saying yes, but I was like, is it okay if I say yes? Has it bothered anybody else if I say yes? Should I be saying yes to myself? It was saying yes, but it was an apologetic yes. Like, it's okay. I would like to say yes to myself. But then it became to a point where I was like, you know what? This yes is mine. I done earned this yes. Guess what? I'm taking this yes. This yes is so bold. This yes is so flagrant that guess what? She ain't asking nobody how they feel about it, what they think about it. Everybody can get it type energy. And so once I really kind of honed into that, that's when I thought about where I was in that space. And so that's really what prompted the title and the whole thing for the platform. Why? Because I understood that women, we are nurturers, both by nature and nurture. These are roles that we see our parents, our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, all the people in our communities. This is the role that we see women play. And so we think that that's the definition of being a woman, is putting yourself on the back burner, pushing everybody else in front of you, all of these things. And I thought that that was how I was supposed to be serving, how God designed me, but that's not. God designed me to be an amazing woman. He designed me to be a helpmeet, but he also designed me to be able to hold down my own. Why? Because the word of God says when a man finds a wife, guess what, honey? He finds a good thing. And I'm definitely a good thing. So I've had to start owning all my traits and abilities, all the skills and the talents and abilities that God had placed within me. And so I just really started becoming unapologetic about it. So now that we got all of that out the way, now it's time for us to get into her. So we're going to read a couple of snippets from a couple of chapters and just see what you guys are thinking about that. Hey, gorgeous. How you doing? So you had to learn that lesson too. I don't know about you, but I had to learn that the hard way. And so, of course, my book is dedicated to my amazing babies, my beautiful 6 children, because they are my everything. And I said something mentioned about my grands as well. So I think the first thing I really want to talk about is a breakup. And it says breakups aren't easy, but there are times in life when they are required. I'm not talking about ending a relationship with someone else. I'm referring to any toxic character traits, tendencies, or versions of yourself. Let's face it, there are times when we've been the problem. We've willingly accepted treatment we knew we weren't worthy of. We took a backseat to our dreams and aspirations. Now we recognize it's time for us to change this narrative. There was a time in my life when I allowed myself to become comfortable in my depression, so I parked on the highway of life and allowed the world to pass me by. I allowed my fears to hold me hostage, or I made excuses for my own negative behavior because, love it or hate it, that's me. Sound familiar? Every word, action, or deed that doesn't motivate, inspire, and empower you to be the greatest version of yourself has got to go. The only person of value that's placed a limitation on you and your ability to access the things you've desired is you. Deep, ain't that? Because there were things that we believed, allowed, or were spoken in agreement with other people's mischaracterization of ourselves. And yes, there are times when breaking free from an outdated version of ourselves causes us to dissolve relationships because we recognize these connections don't support who we are becoming. And that's okay too. It's time to adopt a new mindset. And so that's part of our entry into the book. We then take on a pledge. Why? Because I believe pledges are powerful. Every day you should start your day with a mantra, something that's making you feel like, honey, I'm owning it. I'm about to walk into my boldness. I'm about to do everything that God has called me to do. I'm about to step out on it, walk into it. Even if it doesn't exist, I'm going to go out and find the opportunity in life to be able to create it and bring it to me. Why? Because God has called me to be able to be the head, not the tail, above only and not beneath, above and not below. I'm doing all the things. And so when we think about that, just something that's going to get you started on your day, something that's going to make you feel like, girl, I got this. Come on, I see you. And so having that motivation is important. So we go into that. And we provide some anchor texts. Anchor texts are important. When you think about a vessel or a big ship, it can drift off to sea. It may be headed on a course and sometimes, boats can go off course, right? But anchors really kind of hold those vessels in place. They keep them stayed on the course, on the place that they're supposed to go in that direction. And they also help, in times of storms and things of that nature. And so in your life, you may be headed in one direction, but then life can throw you some life altering cards that will give you a pause and make you second guess why you're on this track and why you're running this race. And maybe you should just give up. And why are you doing all the things? But having those anchor texts are things that will provide support to us to be able to tell us, okay, let's keep going, keep running the race. Don't give up. And that's really what our anchor texts are all about. And that's before we even get into the book. We haven't even gotten to the first chapter yet, but those are the little tidbits that take us to chapter 1. Now, chapter 1 is about going from fearful to fearless. There was a time where, honey, if I was scared of it, honey, I wasn't going to do it. And I allowed my fears to give me permission to stop, as if that was an acceptable answer. Were you scared? Okay. Well, you scared, so you don't got to do it. No. Honey, do it scared. That's one of the lessons in this chapter is do it scared. So I talk about a time when I was younger, and there were two goals I had, 2 goals alone when I was going to Great America. And Great America is Six Flags over in Illinois. 2 things I wanted to do as a kid. I wanted to have a boyfriend, that was going to dress up like me, like I saw all the other couples doing. And I wanted him to win me one of those big stuffed animals so we could walk around the park and I had the whole stuffed animal and you seeing all the things. And that was one of my goals that I wanted, something that I wanted to happen when I was going to Great America. And then the other thing that I wanted to get on the ride. I wanted to ride the roller coaster. And my roller coaster that I really wanted to ride on was the Eagle. And she is a big, phenomenal beast. She is a dual wooden roller coaster that races across the tracks. And they're wooden so you could kind of hear them when you're elevating and making those descents. And so, I was a little tall for my age. And I'm young at this point. I might say about 8 or 9. And I'm trying to maneuver through everything. And I'm finally getting up the nerve. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to ride this ride. And I go through the line. It's a long, extremely long line. I get up to the front. And when I get up to the front, my stomach, the closer I'm getting, my stomach is doing flips and cartwheels and twisting turns. And I'm wondering, like, what's this? What are you doing up here? My inner voice is telling me, girl, would you look around? What is you doing up here? You better get back down off of this plane and go back down the way you came. And I'm like, no, I got to go forward because I don't want to turn around in front of this big crowd of people and do the walk of shame to say that I couldn't ride the ride. But then once I'm pulled up to the front and they're like, okay, you can go next. Okay, come on. My feet wouldn't move. I'm like, I can't do it. So I had to take my walk of shame. I had to turn around, walk down the wrong way, saying, excuse me, I'm so sorry, excuse me. And they're all looking at me like, this girl gonna sit up here and come up here and couldn't even ride the ride. And I felt so judged, but I still couldn't do it. So I just, excuse me, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry. All the way back out. And it really started eating me up that I didn't ride her. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Get back in that line. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go in. So I go back through the whole line system, finally get back up to the top. I'm no less scared than I was the first time. I mean, my heart is racing. It's pounding. My chest is pounding. My knees are knocking. My stomach is constantly doing cartwheels. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? I get in the roller coaster and end up in the very front of the ride. Why I thought this was a good idea, I don't know. Yes, trivia. But I get in the front of the cart, right? And so I'm sitting in the cart and I'm like, okay, they strap you in and pull the bar down. I'm thinking like, this bar don't seem like it's enough support up in here. I don't know if this is really stable. And before I can really even question good, like, why am I here? Maybe I need to get back off. They say, go ahead and enjoy the ride. And then you're off. And so as we're heading up the little steep hill, it's not so bad. I'm looking around like, okay, this is not so bad. Now you at the top. This is the part where you can see everything around the amusement park. And I'm looking from side to side. And now I'm starting to think, well, I don't think this was such a good idea. I don't know if I'm supposed to be up here. And before I can even think about it good, I'm going to tell you one thing about me. If I get in trouble, sis know how to pray. You better believe that. So I'm praying right now. Father God, in the name of Jesus, Lord God, I need you right now. If you could help me, whoosh, and then I'm going, I'm screaming, and I'm going, I'm holding on for dear life, and I'm trying to close my eyes and then open my eyes because I need to know what's happening next. So I'm so confused and conflicted, and I'm going around up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. That's right, Trivia, do it scared. So I finally get to one curve, and I'm like, I try to loosen up because I was gripping the handlebar so tight, scared I was going to fall out. I look to my side, and I see the people going, woo, and they got their hands up. And I'm like, well, this don't seem like so much fun. Maybe it's not fun because I ain't putting my hands up. So some say to me, Chanelle, put your hands up. So I put my hands up, and I'm looking, and we're getting ready to go down at the dive, and we getting ready to go down. And something in my mind like, fool, put your hands down and grip onto this bar. So I'm grabbing onto the bar. I'm holding on for dear life. We riding everything. And then we finally come back and make it back to our destination. And once we finally get back to our destination, girl, my heart is pounding, it's racing, it's everything. But I feel a rush of adrenaline. I'm excited. I'm like, I was scared, but I did it. I was scared, but I did it. Exactly, Jackie. And so what is my advice to you? Honey, do it scared. Your fears does not give you the excuse to be able to back out on your dreams, because guess what? At the end of the day, you owe you. That's right. You owe you. I'm going to read a quick snippet from this chapter, and then I'm going to just try to run on to the next one. So it says, do it scared. Doing the things that intimidate you will decrease the anxiety you will feel the next time you do something outside of your comfort zone. This life won't last forever. One day it will come to an end. Are you making the most of every moment you've been given? Are you using your gifts, talents, and abilities for their divinely designed purpose? Or are you just getting by? I had a long period of my life where I was just getting by. Today, you've been blessed with the opportunity called life that someone else was denied. What are you going to make of it? And so now, you know, what started off as very fearful, I wrote her again, and I wrote her again, and I wrote her again. And every time that I go to Great America, Six Flags Great America, for those of you who don't know, Six Flags Great America over in Gurnee, Illinois. Every time I go to Six Flags, I make sure that I ride her. And each time that I've ridden her, less and less fear. Still a little bit with your heart pounding and racing, but I do it scared. And I do the same thing with my dreams. If I don't get that nervous pit in my stomach, if I don't start looking around and questioning where did I leave my brain out for this idea, then guess what? I'm not playing big enough. And neither are you. If your dreams don't intimidate you, if your dreams don't make you take a pause and make you question your sanity, like what is going on with this thing, then sis, you're not playing big enough. So do it, but do it scared. Your fears don't allow you a pass. The next thing that I kind of wanted to cover, hey boo, next thing I really wanted to cover in this book, something that another chapter that I really like is you get what you allow. You get what you allow. A lot of times I like to think about kids, you know, and because I got kids and I've been around kids a long time now. Once was a kid. So, you know, there's a lot of, she did this to me. He did that to me. She did this to me. And even in adulthood, we bring that same mentality. She did this to me. He did that to me. And I had that same mentality, especially when I was thinking about some of my relationships, people who I held close relationships with. They did this, or she did this, and he did that. And I was really evaluating. Thank you so much. Hey, Antonio, thanks. I've known Antonio back like since, you know, bubblegum in a dish too. We go back since way back on Fresh Sharon Junior Academy days. Boom. So when I kept having that mentality where I'm like, you know, this person did this and that person did that, I had to begin taking ownership for the things that happened. Now, we're not talking about abuse in any of its forms, because whether it's sexual, mental, physical, verbal, whatever it may be, abuse is abuse, and abuse is not okay, and we can't control abuse. So it doesn't have anything to do on the table with abuse. What it does have to do with when we are in situations where we are allowing people to do the things that they are doing to us. Number one, because we're permitting access, right? Or we're showing them by our behavior that we're willing to accept the things that they've done. And so when I thought about my relationship with my youngest brother, I was really kind of conflicted about that. I would always say, well, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. But I had to take some ownership, because what was I allowing? What did my behavior, what are the things that I do that led in and made him feel comfortable doing some of the things that he did. And just sometimes, families, we don't always have good boundaries, right? We just feel like we got to do all the things. But I have to come to a point where I can no longer blame him. I had to blame myself. Why? Because I was teaching him and other people around me that if you do that, I'll accept it. I'll take it. Yep, okay, we can do that too. And so I had to learn that it was up to me to be able to set the tone, that I set the space or I set the rate for people on how they're going to treat me. And so many times you expect people to hold you at a certain level. Why? Because you may hold them at that level. Just because you hold somebody at a certain level doesn't mean they're going to match. So you have to set your own bar of how people can access you. And sometimes, you have to remove yourself out of spaces and places that don't really define you and don't really speak to who you are at this moment, nor the you that you are becoming. And you have to give yourself the gift of the absence of their presence. I'm going to bless you now with the dismissal of my presence. I'm going poof, that type of energy. So yeah, that was something I had to learn. And it's been hard, especially when you've built up a nature where you feel like you have to overextend yourself to everybody and to anybody. But when you do that, you find yourself depleted so much. Why? Because as long as you're giving, there are people in this world who are just going to take. As long as you're giving, they're going to take it. And even sometimes things that you didn't intend to give. Yep, I want that too. Let me take that too. Since you're not going to say nothing, let me take that too. So that's something I had to learn. A hard lesson, hard pill. All right. Another chapter. Oh, I had to do the affirmation though, because I didn't read nothing from out of that one. Let me say this affirmation real quick. It says, what's allowed will continue. Remember, what you tolerate today teaches people how to treat you tomorrow. Girl, I had to learn that thing the hard way. When I tell y'all the hard way, it was the hard way. Another amazing lesson that I really liked in this book was your pain is parallel to your progress. I talk about an analogy about childbirth. And now we all understand that, when a woman is going to have a baby, that naturally there's going to be some pain involved. In fact, when the woman goes to the hospital, they're going to hook her up to various machines so that they can measure the contractions. They're going to explain the process to her. Maybe if she hasn't started labor naturally, they're going to give her some pitocin to induce labor, all those different things. And so they're kind of walking her through what the steps are going to be. And initially, when she gets there, she may not be in pain. Or let's say if her labor has already progressed by the time that she's gotten there, maybe she's in a moderate level of pain. And when you're having that pain, sometimes it becomes, let me put a pin in that. So pain and progress are intertwined. They're linked. You can't have one without the other. In order to progress, you need pain. If you're having pain, then guess what? You're also having progress. So those two things they're interlinked. You can't have one without the other. When you think about childbirth, the more pain, as the pain is progressing, the birth of the child is also progressing. They're coming together. When you're going through labor at the moment, you're just focused on the pain. Sometimes progress can be right at your fingertips, but you can't see it because of the pain that you feel. And if you're focused on the pain, then you have a very real opportunity of just simply walking away from the entire thing and saying, you know what, look, I can't do this. I know I was signing up for all of this. Now, what if a mother-to-be went into a labor and delivery room and she was going through the pain and she's like, it's hard, I can't do this. All the people say that, it's hard, I can't do this. And I tell you, come on, just push through it. I could get ready to breathe. What if a mother just said, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to push. I'm not going to do anything. What would happen? What would happen to her? What would happen to that baby? If the doctors didn't step in and intervene, that baby wouldn't survive in the mother's birth canal, and the mother can't survive with the baby being trapped inside of her birth canal outside of that 9-month period. So guess what? A medical intervention would have to take place in order to save both mom and baby. But how many of your dreams, have you been trying to see come to fruition? How much pain have you been in but you haven't really recognized or really honed in on your progress that you've been making. You've been so focused on the pain that you don't see all of the amazing wins that you made that are helping you push you one step forward to being able to realize your goal. And if you just stop short of it and just, you know what, this is just too hard, I can't do this. There's no medical team that can come in or intervention team that can magically come in and say, hey, I see you having a difficult time. We're going to come in and just bring your bring your dream to fruition. That's not how it goes. You're going to have to put in that sweat equity. So pain and progress are in the same space. You have to allow yourself not to get focused in on the pain. Yes, the pain is very real, and yes, the pain can be very intense, but also recognize and focus on your progress. If you keep your focus on your progress, then you're going to be able to realize your goal, and you're going to be killing it before you know it, right? So pain and progress. I'm going to read a quick snippet out of that because yes, sis loves this chapter as well. So it says, let me see. But what if a mother to be stopped short of obtaining the goal and refused to persevere through the difficulty of labor? The situation would easily become life-threatening for both mom and baby. Unless a C-section is performed, both mother and child would die. How many dreams have died because we were stuck somewhere in between our pain and our progress with no intervention? Life isn't easy. We must be willing to push past the pains of life to realize our dreams. There was a time when I allowed myself to concentrate solely on the pain I was in that I couldn't see the progress that was right in front of me. We tend to lose focus on the traction or momentum we've gained because the weight or burden we are carrying seems too much for us to bear. Have you ever had an experience like this that made you want to stop climbing the mountain you were struggling to climb? I want you to know your breakthrough is on the other side of your mountain, but you must be willing to persevere. Keep going. Your success is parallel to your pain. I'm going to stop right there. We won't go any further in that chapter, but again, your pain is parallel to your progress. So just keep going, sis. Keep going, sis. You're going to get there on the other side of it. Here's a poem that I wrote because I love poetry as well. So this poem is entitled Woman, Forgive Thyself. And I thought that it was important because so many times we're just hard on ourselves. We're just hard on us. You know, we could have did something back in 1982 and we're still bringing it up. You know, I remember when I did this, or, you know, this didn't happen right, or that didn't happen right. And we're beating ourselves up. And it really makes it hard or difficult for us to become the person that we're supposed to become because we're still holding on to this baggage that's, you know, that's tied to some mistake that we made. I'm saying to you, sis, whatever it is that you did, you don't have the right to keep yourself imposed to a life sentence. That's right. You're not deserving of a life sentence without the possibility of parole. That means you need to let yourself go. You need to forgive yourself. Whatever it is, whatever pains that you're carrying. Again, you want to be able to make sure that you let go of those things. And so I'm going to read this poem, and it says, Woman, forgive thyself. Let go of what was and accept what will be. We have to, in order to live this life unapologetically. So kiss yourself sweetly and hold yourself tightly. Tomorrow will be better. Just trust me, you'll see. The woman who forgives herself is wise. She understands that in order to love herself, she must let go of the mistakes of the past. She accepts that no matter the life she's lived, that she mustn't allow the mistakes of yesterday to last. Those who discover the gift of forgiveness have found a hidden treasure. Woman, forgive thyself. Let go of what was and accept what will be. We have to, in order to live this life unapologetically. So kiss yourself sweetly and hold yourself tightly. Tomorrow will be better. Just trust me, you'll see. This type of forgiveness is like sweet kisses from the sun or being bathed by the moon. It's like being serenaded by the ocean, caressed by the sand that's buried beneath your toes. So forgive yourself often and forgive yourself soon. Woman, forgive yourself. Forgive thyself. Let go of what was and accept what will be. We have to, in order to live this life unapologetically. So kiss yourself sweetly and hold yourself tightly. Tomorrow will be better. Just trust me. You'll see. All right, so let's see what else. Again, you can go ahead and pick up this book at www.shesaidyestoherself.com, and you can join the amazing platform where we are being empowered, motivated, and inspired, and also having an amazing time with our summits and trainings and all the various things that we do in She Said Yes to Herself land. So let me think about something else that I wanted to share with you guys on tonight. Another one of my favorites, and they all mean something to me in some ways, but another one of my favorites is this one right here. And it is entitled, There's No Competition. As a kid, I always had myself, there was a time I think when I was really, really young where I felt like, okay, I'm cute. But then there was a time when I was really felt awkward and I felt like I wasn't the cutest button in the room or even the cute button in the room. I was always constantly measuring myself by another female, looking at what she has, looking at what she does, and always feeling like in some way I was inadequate and I didn't measure up. And as long as I held my measuring rod, as long as I held on to it, I never measured up. I always felt like I fell short. You know, she has this, and she can do that, and she does this, and I don't do that, and I can't do this, but she can do that. And the entire time while I was comparing myself, I just always felt limited. I always felt like I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't smart enough, or I wasn't talented enough, or I wasn't cute enough. You know, all of those things. I didn't really grow into who I am as a woman and all the things that I am until I just really threw down my measuring rod. And I would say I'm a late bloomer in that. Why? Because it was really a time where I really started owning myself and who I was. And the more I became accepting of who I am and embracing all the beauty that comes within me and no longer taking myself and measuring myself amongst what this woman has or that woman has, it just really was a game changer for me. It really helped me to walk within the greatness that God has inspired for me, and it helped me to be able to really access my yes. And so now I'm always very complimentary to women. Hey, gorgeous. Hey, beautiful. I see you, sis. Yes, I love this or I love that. And it's genuine. Why? Because I'm no longer in the space where I feel like I have to measure myself against another woman. I feel like she can be amazing. She can have great hair, great lips, she could be a powerhouse. She could be an amazing speaker, author, businesswoman, coach, whatever it is that she does in her vein. And I think that that's amazing for her. But none of that diminishes me and who I am and my value and what I bring to the table. And once I learned that, it just really like started bells and whistles started going off, and she started feeling her own self. And she was like, "Yes, honey." And so now I don't feel like I feel like I'm a cute button in the room, honey. I'm definitely a cute button in the room. And so now I don't feel like, you know, I got to look at this person and look at that person, what they have and what they feel what I don't have. And so no longer I feel do I have to try to measure up to somebody else or what my idea or what my perception is of them. And once you do that, you'll be in a much better space. Because I know it brought me out of out of a seriously dark space. And so, I'm going to read just a snippet out of this book. Out of the chapter entitled "There Is No Competition," and it says, "When horses run a race, they run with blinders on, so they are not tempted to become distracted by the horses that are running in the lanes beside them. Their vision is limited to the view that's directly in front of them. This device prevents them from becoming sidetracked by what the horses are doing. Let's be clear, the riders are competing, but the horses are simply running their best race. Gorgeous, you are beautiful, and you are enough. Period. End of story. The truth is, your worth isn't determined by the titles, accolades, acknowledgments, or by the things you possess. The creator, author, and finisher of your faith has deemed you worthy of the ransom that demanded the life of the Son of God, a debt that no amount of money could pay. The Word of God declares that you are loved with an everlasting love, priceless, his peculiar treasure, healed, chosen, courageous, strong, the apple of his eye, and the list goes on. If you see a woman who has reached a further distance in her journey than where you are at this moment, clap for her. That's right, clap for her. Clap because you are bearing witness to someone who has overcome their unknown tragedy triumphantly. Clap because her existence and achievements give you the affirmation that your goals are attainable. Clap for her because when you finally reach the pinnacle of all your dreams and aspirations, it will be because you are standing on the shoulders of another woman who has helped push you past your pains into your greatness. We are all in this race together, but we aren't running against one another. We're running with each other. When you see a sister running her race, remember to stay in your own lane. This doesn't mean you are confined to running in the lane you are currently running in, but what it does mean is when you are running your race on your timing with your goals in mind, not hers. So I think that that's just powerful. Why? Because honey, there is no competition. There's only one you. That's right. Nobody else like you. You got your own set of unique ideas, aspirations, dreams, skills, and talents that God was given to you. And so you don't need to check to see what the other sister is doing. Let her do her. And when you see her doing her, yes. I love when I see another woman making some amazing moves and she's doing goals. Because guess what? Honey, if she can do that thing, guess what? Then that means yours truly can do it too. That means that it's proof positive that once one person cracked that code, I can come along and crack that code too. So guess what? What do? I don't feel like I'm in competition with her. I try to mark her steps. Why? Because success leaves clues. I leave competition and ego at the door. I'm trying to learn. I'm humble. What can I bring to the table? How can I help assist you? Why? Because if you're doing what you need to be doing, I should come learn under you so that I can do the things that I want to do. And guess what? It don't hurt me to help you push your platform further along. Why? Because I'm teaching myself some amazing skills that are going to help me get to where I'm trying to go. So, I mean, collaborations to me are amazing. And I think that's just the new currency. I think if people really understood what collaborations and networking could truly bring to them, their business, and their personal and professional lives, we would network and collaborate much more freely than what we are currently doing. So again, there is no competition. Yep, she doing that good. Come on, do that. Because guess what? I'm going to do it too. And that has to be our mindset. Again, you watching She Said Yes to Herself with your girl, Chanelle, Coleman, Wesley. And guess what? Talking about this book right here entitled She Said Yes to Herself, Unapologetically, the Empowerment Guide for Women. Let me see. I'm going to hit on these two last chapters. Turning. And then we're going to get ready to wrap up this show on today. Girl, so many amazing things. That access to you is a privilege. That's a whole thing. Girl, that'll preach. So the power of perception. Let's see. What part am I going to talk about? Okay. So first, let me talk about it real quick. So the power of your perception. I don't know about you, but I'm a DC Marvel kind of girl. Like that really kind of does my thing. Like Wonder Woman, I grew up with her. Boom. Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. all the things. I'm with all of it. The Hulk, just come on. I'm here for all of that. So when I saw the Infinity War with the Avengers fighting their great all-powerful nemesis Thanos, and they're trying to get the time stone, and Doctor Strange gets the time stone, and he's looking into the time and trying to see the result of the outcome for the victory when the Avengers are going to fight Thanos. And he has the time stone, and he looks into the time stone a total of 14,605 times. Did y'all hear that? He looked through the time stone 14,605 times. Now, why did Doctor Strange look 14,605 times? He looks because for the 14,604 times, he saw nothing but defeat. So that's defeat after defeat after defeat, defeat, all the way up to 14,604. What kept him looking for a different outcome? It was his ability to see himself winning. He kept looking until he saw the outcome that he anticipated or he expected. So he continued to look until he saw the outcome that he wanted. And with that 14,604 odds to 1, the Avengers decide to fight. Now, if that don't sound like a losing battle to me, I don't know what does. Because most of the times when we're thinking about our ideas, somebody could turn us down once and we're like, you know what, I'm just going to give up. I can't even do this. Somebody turns us down 5 times, like, sis, I can't do that. 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. I mean, stop giving up on your dreams. 14 million, you did not look at that dream 14,605 times. You just didn't look at it that many times. So if you continue looking, guess what? You're going to see the outcome that you want to see. And the word of God, Christ would always say, as you believe, be it unto you. Meaning, if you can see it, then you can have it. But if you cannot see it, then guess what? You cannot have it. So when we're thinking about our dreams and aspirations, you have to see that thing turning. You have to see that move being made. You have to see yourself hitting that corner or making that turn, making that stride, in order to be able to access and walk within your purpose and to step into your greatness, everything that God has really designed and called you to be. So I'm telling you, that power of perception is key. It's very monumental. So it was just really powerful and impactful. So when we talked about the power of your perception, let me just read a quick snippet of it, since you guys kind of got a basis for what this chapter is about. It says, what stops you from laying it all on the line to realize your dreams? Is it because there are numerous odds that you perceive as failed outcomes? Are you willing to keep looking until you see your desired results? Have you looked at your dream 14,605 times? I know your self-talk is asking you, what if you fail? But what if you succeed? Isn't that one chance that you could realize the life of your dreams a compelling reason to try? What would it mean for you and your tribe if you reached your goal? You determine what you see. The choice is yours. So, what do you see? And so it lets us know that, ultimately what we see or what we allow ourselves to think, that's what's going to happen. The Bible also says, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? So if you can see yourself winning, if you can see God helping you to move into spaces and places that he's designed for you, guess what? You're going to be able to do just that. But if you can't see it, then guess what? It just won't happen. So watch your perception. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about the last thing, which is the last chapter in the book, and that is entitled, nope, not the power of perception, one second. And there's some self-work in here. I love activities and things to help you really kind of transition and make those moves and kind of really kind of put the chapter's principles into perspective and see how you're going to be able to make those steps in your actual life, making it practical for you, kind of easy to do, easy to follow. And so our last chapter, which we finna get ready to run out of time, which is really talking about that's leading us into the next book, which is She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically Part 2, which will be coming out soon. Yes, it will be coming out soon. And we give a little snippet of that. So I'm going to read a little bit of that. And it says, success won't provide an elevator to the top. You must take the stairs. There is no elevator to the top. We'd all like to reach the greatest heights in our pursuit of happiness without giving the required sacrifice. But the truth is, most of us won't reach the height we'd like to achieve not because the top isn't unattainable. So let me say it again. But the truth is, most of us won't reach the height we'd like to achieve, not because the top is unattainable, but because we fail to realize it because there's no easy way to access it. So it means that it's not impossible. It's just not easy to get to. So because it's not easy to get to, sometimes we like to give up and check out on it. If easy access were permissible, it would cease to be the top. Your it requires a burnt offering. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm going someplace and let's say there are stairs involved, I'm going to think real hard, how much do I really want to go? Do I really want to go? Do I really want to do this? Stairs can make the trip be a no for me. Like, you know what? Like, it's a no for me. You know, I can't even do this because all the work I got to put into it. I much would rather take the elevator or the escalator. I'm not even really a big fan of escalators, but I'll take the escalator. Why? Because it doesn't require anything for me to get on the escalator. I just need to step on it and it gives me an easy ride to where I want to go. But your dreams are going to require you to give up some sweat equity. That's right. You're going to have some sweat equity if you're going to access your dreams. So again, these were a few snippets from this book right here entitled She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically, the Empowerment Guide for Women. This book provides 21 actionable steps to take you from waiting on it to walking in it. You can get this book and other phenomenal resources at www.shesaidyesToHerself.com. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the show, She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically. It was an amazing time with you guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful night. I'll see you guys next time.
This is a story about a little girl who learned to say yes to herself unapologetically. The She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically platform is here to motivate, encourage, and empower you. The little girl had dreams of becoming a playwright, motivational speaker, and best-selling author.